Welcome to this Killick Explains video. And I think in holiday season, people don't really need reminding of this, but nonetheless, here is my video on 5 reasons why investors should ignore the news, or certainly spend less time worrying about it. So here's the question. How did you feel after reading today's news headlines? Now, you might have read them in a physical paper, you might have read them online, you might have gone to Bloomberg, Reuters, whatever your source happens to be, blog sites. Did you feel angry? Sad? Anxious? Chances are it might have been one of those 3 emotions, because headlines are designed to generate anger, sadness, anxiety, because the reality, I'm afraid, is that tends to sell better than fact. Engage the emotions, especially the negative emotions, get people worried, get people anxious, and you tend to sell more papers. And it prompts a reaction. Now, let me give you some examples. So here are some actual headlines coming up, financial headlines, that are A, designed potentially to make you feel either angry, sad or anxious, and B, to prompt a reaction. Number 1, 30 billion wiped off shares. Sounds scary. What does it actually mean? Is 30 billion a lot? Sounds like a lot, but in the context of what? So it's a meaningless headline really for investors. I mean, what are you supposed to do with that? But it's designed to get you thinking, get you nervous. Number 2, yield curve sends out recession warning. Well, what is a yield curve? Is it a reliable signal? Has it sent out a clear-cut recession warning? I mean, there are so many questions, but reading that, people are going to get anxious, going to get stressed. Number 3, ECB to raise rates by record amount. Yeah, but maybe previously they've been reducing them by a record amount. Maybe they're coming off an all-time low. Maybe rates are being normalised. Maybe it's not all bad news, but nonetheless that headline will scare you. And finally, inflation hits 40-year high. Yeah, but previously it was at a 50-year low and had stayed there. So yes, it's not great news, but what are you supposed to do? It's just designed to make you anxious. And there's no call to action in there. It's just inflation hits 40-year high. So you see what I mean? These are all quite negative headlines, and they're all designed to produce a reaction and get you nervous, worried, and engaged with what you're reading. So here's the point. Too much news consumption is a problem. Why? Because of the nature of headlines, it often makes us feel bad. It changes how we see the world. It makes us worry about things we can't change. I have a motto, which is change what you control, manage what you don't, and understand the difference. It takes up a lot of time that could be spent doing something else, and it can be quite misleading. As I hinted, some of those headlines beg as many questions as they ask, but will nonetheless scare novice investors. So what are my solutions as we look through the summer holidays? What are my solutions? Number 1, be disciplined about sources, okay? In other words, what you read. Number 2, how long you spend reading it. And number 3, if in doubt, go and do something else. So limit your intake to sources that you like and trust. Set a time during the day, if you insist on doing it daily, when you're actually going to focus on those sources, and then go, right, done that, tick, on to something else. In other words, don't allow the media to just bombard you relentlessly with negative messaging. Okay, short and sharp. So to find out more, I have done videos around this topic. It would be killick.com/learn. If you'd like to read some more about equity investing and weighing up different sources of information, if you like, one of my guides, not one of the 2 sitting here, it's got a blue cover, is all about how to invest in equities. And to read something more reassuring than sometimes the media headlines, if you like, Confident, our quarterly magazine, is not a bad place to start, and that would be editor@killick.com for either a digital or hard copy.